Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is Hugo Quintanilla here with another live. Welcome to everybody on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. Actually, no, not TikTok, Twitch and LinkedIn and X. If you have any questions, please leave them on your platform of choice. As you can see, we're everywhere. I am Hugo Quintanilla, your host for this daily live that we do to learn a little bit more every day about real estate and how it can benefit you and those around you. I am licensed with Long and Foster North Potomac Rockville, and my phone number 240-389-4846. My email is hugo at lnf.com, and my website is yourrealtorhugo.com. As always, ladies and gentlemen, thank you again for tuning in, and I appreciate all of you. And actually, I just forgot that I didn't do the cover for today's story, which is quite embarrassing. So let me produce a cover real quick while I stall and tell you guys a little bit about my day. I had a great conversation and lunch with Marvin Vigil of ACNB Lending, and were able to speak on the market and what we have going on. And when I came home after speaking with him, we kind of came to the consensus that people just needed to be told how the market is right now. So we were talking, and really more than anything else, he just told me it just seems like people just want to be told when it's a good time to buy. And, I am always more than happy to help people do that. But really, one of the biggest things that I, like Marvin, believe is that it's important to do it when it's the right time, because doing it at an inopportune time can definitely impact your results. So today we're going to be looking at unlocking opportunities, Maryland real estate forecast, and market analysis for 2024. Today's the day, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to tell you whether or not it's a good idea to buy in Maryland. Definitively. Actually, the answer, just like it was yesterday, is that it always depends. So if you got something to do, don't have 15 minutes to spend. That was it. That's the long story short of the video. Enjoy. Have a great night. I will see you again tomorrow for another topic. But for those that want to learn about what's happening, this is actually based off of an article that we have from Houseo. Let me show you guys the article so that you can see it, and I will share it with you in the on Facebook as well. But this is the article. Let me pull it up here so I can show you guys. Maryland real estate predictions for 2024. Let me take off this stuff as well so you guys can read it a little bit better. It's a great article. It came out on the 18th and it uses data from December, but it just came across my desk today. And as you can see, we are seeing Bethesda more than anything go up in median value. There's a lot of statistics in this and a lot of links that it branches out. It talks about a few other things as well. So definitely a good read. Go ahead and check that out when you have some time. And as always, if you have any questions or know anyone that has any questions about real estate, buying, selling, leasing, or investing, I'm always here to help, and just send them my way. So let's get started. What can I say really about the report? These are really the 10 basic points that I got from summarizing the whole report. The current market overview. Maryland homes continue to sell at high prices with 4.8% year over year increase in the median sales price. Despite a high 8.5% interest rate, there's still significant demand, and many homes are selling above the list price. If you've been paying attention to my monthly analysis, you can see that the list to sold value has stayed above 100% during all this time that we've been getting all this news that the market's not good, that it's not good time to sell a property. So you can tell that when those numbers go above 100, that the price of the final offer is going to be more than the actual first initial list price. Now, that takes into consideration the highs, the lows, and everything in between. That's why that number is so close to 100. But anything over 100 is extra. Profit in the seller's pocket. So you can at least bank on 4.8% year over year in median sales price, which is pretty hefty. For every $100,000, your property increased in essence $5,000. So multiply that out by the value of your home. If your home is $400,000, you're talking about almost $20,000 every year that you appreciate it. So that can be a great bit of knowledge for you to have in your back pocket. Now, from a buyer's perspective, for home buyers, the article suggests that the current market conditions could allow for avoiding bidding wars and getting seller concessions. What are seller concessions? Seller concessions are when a seller grants a credit towards the buyer towards either closing costs or some sort of help in assisting them close the property. Now, why would a seller do this? One, because they have a difficult property to sell and need a client that is ready to buy it and they found the perfect one, or they are uh, more than anything inclined to sell fast. Really, a seller would only concede if it benefits them. I can't see another scenario where otherwise, unless you have a really phenomenal, caring, and pathetic agent that's going to sit there and really feel for those buyers and be like, hey, we can help them out. We can do this and this and this. But that's really going above and beyond. And we hope all realtors are like that. But more than anything else, what this time 2024 will do, if you're serious about buying a property, you're going to be out with other serious people. You're not going to be out in these bidding wars with people that are just throwing money out there. We've seen a lot of contracts fail because of the change in interest rates. But with the interest rates starting to hit an all-time low for relative to, the recent years, we're going to see that change. So people that are out there are going to be out there in full force, and there's lots of demand. There are not enough houses to support that demand. So keep in mind that it's not going to be easy, but it's not going to be impossible or as hard as it was the last 2 years. From a seller's perspective, home sellers are encouraged to take advantage of Maryland's high home prices by listing on MLS, which is the multiple list server, which can lead to faster sales and higher proceeds. Now, why would you put your market on the MLS? It is the tried and true method that we use as realtors and as professional real estate agents to promote and market properties. The MLS, Bright MLS in particular, is hooked up with so many trickle feeds that go out into a plethora of different websites through a protocol called IDX, Internet Data Exchange, I believe is what the acronym stands for. But basically, it allows verifiable information to be put on a centralized server so that we can all share it for the purposes of verifying the ownership of properties as well as the state of properties and what's being offered. Before, we used to have to, I can't even tell you what we used to have to do before, because I was fortunate enough to even come in when Bright was already established. We were coming from another system to a more unified system like Bright that was a larger MLS that had already expanded with more technology. But really, an MLS will expand your presence, and it can really make the difference between selling your home quickly or having your property possibly sit on the market. Do you need to put your property on in the MLS? No. You can sell your property on Craigslist if you want to, on Facebook if you want to. Is it smart to do it that way? It all really depends, because you have to know the pros and cons of both. And we'll talk about that probably tomorrow. Also, I wanted to let you guys know that I will be holding a seminar in English and in Spanish every Friday. We'll be doing a lesson like a normal, like everyday live, like we're doing a 15 to 20-minute live, but I'll also be doing a seminar in English and Spanish every Friday, on a particular topic. On the first week, it's going to be buying. On the second week, it's going to be selling. On the third week, it's going to be renting. And on the fourth week, it's going to be investing. So every Friday, you'll have a different kind of workshop that we'll be able to talk about. And I'll try to produce a little bit more of presentation for you with a PowerPoint that's a little bit more friendly in English and Spanish, so that both communities can enjoy the information. And then from there, you can participate and look at the news stories every day and see, how buying, selling, leasing, and investing all work together to create a real estate market, and really how people create wealth overnight in real estate when things go up or go down. But let's keep going. Number 4, market statistics. Maryland's real estate market reflects national trends of high demand and low supply. Home values have risen by 22% in the last 5 years, but home sales decreased by 22% in September of 2023. So that is just taking a snapshot of a point in time in 2023 where the sales decreased at their lowest point. This is why you have to look past the headlines. And luckily, I am very transparent with a lot of the data. It's just a lot of data, and you have a life. This is my life, is looking at this data and looking at these numbers and trying to cut through the mess. Now, experts predict further price increases in 2024 due to tight inventory. The average median home price in Maryland is $408,200, showing a 4.8% year over year increase. So, right there, the median home price in Maryland is $408,000. If you are talking about 5% appreciation versus last year, you appreciated at least $20,000 between 2022 and 2023. This is why it's become so unaffordable for new first time home buyers to come in. At the pace that this is happening, it's been unprecedented. So, what's the one thing you can do is prepare. You got to get ready. You can't play at the poker table if you don't have chips. It's just as easy as that. There are non negotiables in this world, and you have to have money to make money. So, market predictions for 2024. Predictions include a return of sellers to the market, stabilizing of mortgage interest rates in the second half of 2024, and an increase of home buyers. We just got a chat from the Fed talking about how they do not feel comfortable cutting interest rates just yet because there's been so much excitement about them cutting interest rates. But the rates are still up in the air, and we're talking about them getting cut down at least 3 times this year. So if that does transpire, and when it does transpire, you'll see rates hopefully continue to go down, making it more affordable for more buyers to come out on the market, so we have a bigger pool of people to advertise to and thus help you sell your home. New construction is going to play a big role in 2024. Anticipation of a rise in housing permits for single family homes in 2024, indicating growth in new home construction sales. Also, you're going to see a lot more permits being pulled out for remodels and ADUs. Rockville and Gaithersburg are both actively looking at additional dwelling units as any response and solution to low income housing and affordable housing in this area. So ADUs could be a big thing coming into 2024. We also have Amazon's move to develop that portable house that we just saw. And that can be a game changer. So being able to order a standalone home and use that as an additional dwelling unit with the proper permitting and foundation work and utility connection, that could really be a game changer for a lot of new constructions. So it's going to be very interesting to see what 2024 brings in the course of technology and development of new construction. We're going to see iBuyers and buyer agent commissions. This is something very unfortunate. iBuyers are expected to continue making lowball offers. So beware. Do not just accept the first offer on the table. Consult, do your research. Are tons of resources online to talk with a realtor, to get an estimate, to compare prices. Do your research. Don't go into this blind. This is not something to do without doing your research. And the buyer broker commission may become negotiable. So, this is as a result of the National Association of Realtors case about commissions. I can talk more about how this will impact buyer brokers, but the long and the short is that if sellers and the National Association of Realtors decide, and everyone, persecuted decides, um, to change how we do business in verbiage per se, uh, the costs of your realtor as a buyer could then be possibly transferred onto you. This was one of the biggest things that we feared with this lawsuit, was that if our business and our industry changed, we would then, because sellers would no longer pay buyer agent commissions, so to speak. If sellers decided to stop paying buyer agents tomorrow, buyer agents will go out of business. So the only way for buyer agents to continue to do work would be to offset that cost onto their clients and the buyers, so to speak. So imagine you're a first time home buyer. You already have a lot of stuff that you got to buy. And now on top of that, you got to pay your realtor a 2.5% fee for, you know, getting you a home. We could see the rise of finder's fees. We could see the rise of a million and one different ways to do business in this world, but they're all going to cost the buyer more money. Whereas historically, they've always been paid for by the seller. They have always been negotiable, but we will see. We will see what happens with this case and how inevitably all these brokerages end up responding. But we will continue to see iBuyers and continue to see iBuyers go out of business. So beware. Lawsuits impacting real estate. Mention of lawsuits challenging real estate practices, particularly the impact of buyer agent commissions. Again, we are seeing a plethora of these lawsuits and copycat lawsuits spring up all over the United States. So we have to wait and see if the Supreme Court or someone is going to take some action against this and stop this from happening. Because really, the long story short of the story is that I think a good realtor is worth their value. Now, have realtors always communicated this? Possibly not. But, this is where training and education comes into place. So we hope that this gets rectified in the future. And if you have any questions about that, I would definitely defer to your local brokerage and your local brokerage's manager about how they're conducting themselves with regards to the lawsuits. And last but not least, market outlook for 2024. The article concludes that 2024 is expected to be a favorable market for both sellers and buyers, with rising home prices and increased demand. That's really the story for 2024 and probably even the 2025, until we can see a stabilization and more inventory to rise above 2 months worth of inventory. We won't have a change in this market. The other thing that could definitely help is government involvement with incentives to buy and to sell, and also, more funding for first time home buying programs, as possibly, financiers get more creative, as we see more and more mortgage companies possibly go out of business because it's getting harder. Applications are going down. As the rates start to go down, we're starting to see a rise in applications, but we are still waiting to see on all that. Again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for participating and for helping out here tonight. I really do appreciate you guys. I will share this article. Again, if you have any further questions for me, please feel free and leave them in your platform of choice. As I said, you can Google me. My name is Hugo Quintanilla. I am a licensed realtor in Rockville and in Gaithersburg. I'm licensed with Long and Foster, North Potomac, Rockville. My phone number, 240-389-4846. My email is hugo@lnf.com, and my website is yourrealtorhugo.com. Feel free and use any one of those. Or if you want to connect on social media, I am on Instagram and on TikTok and on YouTube at Hugo, the number 4, Long and Foster. And I'm everywhere else at Hugo L and F. So if you have any questions, feel free and just look me up. I really do appreciate all of you again. I will see you all tomorrow. Don't forget that we will have that extra bonus class on Friday, and we will continue to do that. Sorry, I'm just trying to look at that calendar, just committing it to memory. That should work for me, and I think I can definitely make that happen for you guys. So, again, if you have any questions, leave them in the chats below, and I will see you all tomorrow. So, take care, have a great evening, and thank you again for